New details tonight following the deadly hit and run on Spokane's South Hill. Find out what we learned in court.
Weather impact alerts remain in place as critical fire danger returns to the region tomorrow and breezy conditions take us into the weekend.
Plus, NFL veteran and Spokane native Brian Brahman passes away. A look back at his remarkable career that began right here tonight. We are tracking three major stories across the region tonight. Breaking news in the Moscow murder case. An Ada County judge lifting the gag order put in place over 2 years ago. Plus, critical fire danger across the inland Northwest. Tracking red flag warnings tonight. But first, the suspect in a deadly South Hill hit and run making their first appearance in court today. Tonight, we're learning more about the victim. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Amanda Rowley. Tonight, the South Hill community gathered to mourn the tragic death of Sarah Doxey. She was hit and killed by a drunk driver while going for a run Wednesday morning. Doxey was well known within the community and was currently the chief operations officer of Chaz Health in Spokane. A close friend of Doxey's reached out to KREM 2 and told us she's the mother of 2 teenagers. Now, that 17-year-old suspect is currently in custody facing felony DUI and hit and run charges. He made his first appearance in juvenile court this afternoon. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy was in the courtroom this afternoon with the details. Connor?
The 17-year-old suspect faces several charges in this case. The family of both the suspect and victim presented statements before Spokane County Superior Court Judge Jeremy Schmidt on what happened and where the case should go from here. Felony charges, including driving under the influence, vehicular homicide, and operating a vehicle without a driver's license. Judge Schmidt heard statements from both Doxey's family and written statements from the suspect's immediate family read by the defense attorney. Immediate family of Doxey described their love for her and how her loss will be one never forgotten. Judge Schmidt ultimately decided to keep the suspect detained for the time being, saying the actions they are accused of pose a threat to the community. Now, an arraignment for the suspect is scheduled for July 23rd at 11 a.m. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
A judge has lifted the gag order in the Moscow murder case. This order prevented investigators and attorneys from speaking publicly about the quadruple murder case for well over 2 years. Prosecutors didn't object, but the defense did, saying there's a safety risk and a risk to the defendant's right to a fair sentencing. Judge Stephen Hippler said the primary purpose of the gag order was to be able to seat an impartial jury, but that's no longer in play. However, this doesn't mean previously sealed case records will be released.
And so before everybody gets out their pen and paper and sends in public records requests, understand those will be denied for sealed records until they are unsealed. And that process is going to take time. And I'm not talking days. I'm probably not talking weeks.
Coming up in just 6 minutes, we'll hear from the prosecuting and defense attorneys on what this means with the sentencing just less than a week away. And KREM 2 will have complete team coverage live from Boise next Wednesday starting at 8 a.m. I will be in Boise sharing the latest from inside the courtroom and reaction after the sentencing. You can watch that special coverage on KREM 2 and streaming on KREM 2+. Turning to weather now, we're tracking critical fire danger tonight with red flag warnings across the inland Northwest tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo, we have got you live outside. Can you break it down on what we can expect?
Well, Amanda, for starters, it's rather warm tonight. Temperatures still in the upper 70s here in Spokane, and across the region we're trending much warmer than we have the past couple of nights. That correlates to a warmer day tomorrow, and with another warm, dry day, you add wind to it and we get a critical fire danger or a red flag warning across much of the inland Northwest. National Weather Service has those remaining in place from 1 to 11 p.m. tomorrow for dry, hot, windy conditions. Temperatures are going to trend a few degrees warmer than today. Low 90s in eastern Washington and North Idaho, up near 100 in parts of central Washington. And that ends with a frontal boundary moving through. Similar to how it always does. We'll see clouds build late in the day. Wind picks up Friday afternoon and evening. And as that moves out, we head into a calmer weekend with cooler temps. Tomorrow, 91, and as wind picks up in the afternoon, we're under that weather impact alert. 80s both Saturday and Sunday.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Time now for your Night Beat with a quick look at today's top stories. Retired NFL linebacker Brian Brahman died today at 38 years old after a battle with a rare and aggressive form of cancer. He's a Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018. Brahman was born in Spokane and was a track and football star at Shadle Park High School. A GoFundMe account was set up in February for Brahman and his family with an initial goal of $15,000. Then $25,000. It reached more than $90,000 just this afternoon. And we're learning more about why the Pullman fire chief resigned about 5 months into his job. We obtained his resignation letter through a public records request. In that letter, Chief Brett Nash said he didn't feel he had the ability or control to affect change within the organization. Nash will stay in his post until August 1st. He says he plans to move back to Nevada to be with his family. And new tonight, a biker who went missing almost a week ago in the Mount Hood National Forest is recovering in the hospital tonight. 52-year-old Ralph Sawyer has been missing since he went for a ride last Friday. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says Sawyer found his car on East Still Creek Road and drove it back to his home in Gresham this morning. He was cold, dirty, and worn out when he got back. A friend says Sawyer was walking with the bike when he lost his footing and couldn't get back on the trail. And that's it for Night Beat. For more of any of those stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. And don't go to bed just yet. A new sports field could be coming to Spokane County. Find out where in the next 13 minutes. But first, a judge lifting the gag order placed on the Moscow murder case. What this means for next week's sentencing in just 90 seconds.